Wizard101 just added a bunch of new elixirs into the game. Y'all, this is honestly kind of nuts. I feel like this is extremely highly anticipated. Throughout the past few months, I feel like Wizard101 has put out a bunch of teasers relating to the fact that they're adding new elixirs, including world skip elixirs. And sure enough, I'm in test realm. If you go into test realm, you go to elixirs, you see not just new world elixirs added, but also group elixirs. And I had to make a video on this. This is like a totally new feature. I honestly think it could be one of the better new features that they've added in a while. But let's start with the world Celestia elixir that they just added. To me, what this represents is one of many elixirs that are going to be coming into the game so that if you want, you can literally skip a world instead of doing it. I assume that this is just for testing purposes, and that's why it's literally at 100 crowns. And the reason I say this is because of the price of this being low, and also the price of the level 50 elixir being low. I think what they want is for you to make a new wizard, test it out by using the level 50 elixir, and then using the Celestia elixir. So don't pay too much attention to the price on test run. But I will say this, price is an extremely relevant, number when it comes to like, judging whether this is good or not. A lot of people were speculating that this would be, about a fifth the price of a level 50 elixir, and the level 50 elixir is 30,000 crowns. So we're looking at probably a price of, many thousands of crowns. However, you don't have to do a whole world once you've already, done it. Keep in mind, obviously, that you still have to have finished Celestia in order to buy this. So this isn't a way for people just to literally get to the end without doing it for once at least. But I assume that for particularly annoying worlds that this will be a way to just skip to the end. They've added this for that purpose alone. I do have a couple of thoughts on this. One, I feel like when people find a world so annoying that they have to skip it, I honestly feel like that points to a bigger problem in terms of how well you're compensated for playing through the game multiple times. If I'm running through Celestia twice, why is it that the second time I feel so annoyed that I would even consider an elixir to begin with? And I do think the answer to that really lies in the fact that you don't really get anything for running Celestia twice. Like, there's no rewards that make you feel super compensated for all the extra time you put in. Maybe when they add Arc 2 spell elements, maybe going through that part of Arc 2 is going to feel more worth it. So hopefully this isn't something where it feels like a purchase that just makes sense due to annoyance. Hopefully it's just, you just don't want to put the time into it, and you've already maybe done it so many times you've actually gotten all the rewards you could have gotten out of it. Hopefully that is what these elixirs are, because otherwise I feel like it's more of a lazy solution to a problem that does need fixing. Now, you've already seen this is not the only elixir in town. These are the ones that I cannot believe that they added, y'all. We're finally talking about group elixirs, meaning if you're in a group with someone, they could literally purchase an elixir and everyone in the group could experience the benefits of it. Now, once again, I do believe that the price is experimental in nature. Keep in mind that if this is 4-person groups, then, the prices don't really make sense, obviously, because it's more expensive than each person buying one by themselves. But from what I can tell, these are actually for an entire adventure party, which makes me actually think that this is actually a decent price, because an adventure party could actually be way more than 4 people. I believe it could be like 8 or 12 or something. But presumably the way they work, right? Let's say that you're in an adventure party, a group, anything that involves multiple wizards. One person can purchase one of these and everybody gets the effects, right? So if someone purchases this for 5,000 crowns, everybody gains an energy elixir, I guess. It gives them 50 energy. I think something like a group hatching elixir, for example, could be nuts. Like, what if you have a group that's just farming for a pet? Maybe they add something like that. Or maybe it's raids, right? And you could just hatch it immediately because someone wants to. While I do think it's a really, really good idea, I have a feeling that they're going to struggle with the actual price point on this, because I guess there must be some magic number where once your group is large enough, you break even on everyone individually buying the elixir, right? For example, let's say that, I don't know, let's say a Perot's potion costs 399 crowns. For it to be worth spending, maybe they end up doing a 4,000 crowns price, right? For it to be worth it, you need a group that's 10 people, which I honestly feel like what if you have 9 or something, then the price isn't accessible? I feel like these elixirs should scale to the number of people in your group and automatically give you a discount no matter what. And I think the discount should increase as your group increases in size. I think that's the only way to make something like this work for groups of variable sizes, because otherwise I feel like this will be a feature that's only available for people that are in extremely large groups. But a pros, right? It costs 399 crowns. Maybe if you're in a group with just one other person, maybe instead of costing 800 crowns, which is a full price, it could be priced at 700. And maybe there could be a feature that they add where it scales a discount based on the number of people in a group. I really think that's what they should do, because otherwise I feel like the group elixirs, they'll get less use, and the whole point is you're getting rewarded. You're literally saving money for playing the game with other people, right? So why not make that as accessible as possible? I think that's what they have to do. I have a feeling that the direction that they're going in general with the group elixirs is probably a really, really good one, and we've seen this a lot, right? If you in-person hatch, it's a lot cheaper than a kiosk hatch. They also seem to have revamped the kiosk a little bit, and this is also a feature that I think a lot of people have wanted for a long time. According to the patch notes, now, instead of doing the more expensive kiosk hatch, you can actually, like, request an in-person hatch, and they could port over, and then you could actually do it in person for the reduced price. The only caveat is that the lending player must be online and both need to agree to the hatch, but if that happens, you don't actually have to pay for the price of the kiosk either. Not only is in-person hatching a lot cheaper, the person that lends also gets rewards that they can use to craft other things that are good for pet hatching. It seems to me, just based on the fact that they did this with the group elixir update, it seems to me that they're really trying to incentivize, yo, you should interact with someone, you know, like you should play with people. That's just something that's good in a game like this. It's an online game. Interacting with people is probably a good thing to incentivize, but at the same time, I think that the inconvenience of not, you know, interacting with people, it's starting to get canceled out a little bit more, because honestly, yes, you could prefer a kiosk, but it really isn't a crazy hassle to request a hatch in person, right? And yes, you could be in a group and buy a bunch of elixirs at a discount, but it's not going to be such a large discount that you're severely punished for training pets alone. I do think it's important to note that at its base, Wizard101 is a game that you could play completely alone, right? And I think that should be, like, you know, a reality that they just admit and accept. But it is nice to see them pushing for things like, you know, interacting with other people, because if not for, you know, small little perks like a group elixir, small little perks like, you know, a cheaper hatch if you do it in person, if not for that, you miss out on the really online component of this game, and I feel like you miss out on the real feature that builds community and keeps you wanting to play for a longer period of time. So I do think that focusing on this specifically is a good thing for them. All in all, definitely a big W. If things seemed inconvenient when it came to pet hatching, pet training, all of that, and elixirs in general, now it's just a little less inconvenient. And also, if it seemed inconvenient to, you know, quest through a world, now they're starting to add these new world elixirs. I assume we're gonna get a bunch of them. Let me know what you guys think of all of these, you know, crazy little changes, the little elixir changes, the in-person hatching stuff as well. There's so many things that they put in this update. I had to make a video just talking about this topic. Are you guys looking forward to just, you know, interacting with more people when it comes to stuff? Or are you, you know, more of a lone wolf? You don't really think these changes affect you? What do you guys think of these changes? As always, drop a comment, let me know what you guys feel. Drop a sub if you're new as well. And if somebody hasn't told you're awesome today, they doing something wrong. I'll see y'all soon. Stay awesome, y'all. And yeah.